There is a place on Earth where sunlight has never existed, not because it is hidden, not because it is secret, but because it is too deep. The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet, yet we have explored less than 10% of it. We have mapped the surface of Mars. We have photographed distant galaxies, but the depths of our own oceans remain largely unknown. At 200 meters below the surface, colors begin to disappear. At 1,000 meters, sunlight is gone completely. Below that begins a region known as the midnight zone, a world without light, without warmth, without visibility. Temperatures hover just above freezing. The pressure is so extreme, it would crush an unprotected human in seconds. And yet, this is not the deepest part. Far below, in trenches that stretch nearly 11,000 meters down, lies a place almost no human has ever seen. For decades, scientists believed nothing complex could survive here. No ecosystems, no advanced organisms, no movement, just darkness. But then, something changed that belief forever. In 1997, something unusual was detected in the Pacific Ocean. It wasn't seen, it was heard. A sound so powerful it was recorded across thousands of kilometers. Louder than a blue whale, deeper than any known marine signal. Scientists didn't know what it was. It didn't match submarines, it didn't match earthquakes, and it didn't match any known animal. For weeks, theories began to spread. Some believed it was a massive, undiscovered creature. Others suspected secret military experiments. The media gave it a name. They called it the Bloop. Years later, scientists proposed a different explanation. The sound likely came from a massive ice shelf cracking and collapsing. A natural event, not a monster. But here's the unsettling part. We were able to identify it because we were listening. Most of the deep ocean is not being monitored at all. If the deep ocean was truly empty, nothing like this should exist. Nearly a kilometer below the surface, in complete darkness, lives a predator perfectly adapted to a world without light, the anglerfish. At first glance, it looks fragile, almost skeletal. Its body is small, compressed by pressure, built to survive in extreme conditions. But what makes it extraordinary is the light. Extending from its head is a thin spine-like structure, tipped with a glowing organ. This light is not electricity. It is bioluminescence, a chemical reaction created by symbiotic bacteria living inside its lure. In a world where sunlight never reaches, even the smallest glow becomes irresistible. Smaller creatures drift toward the light, believing it might mean safety or food. They move closer and closer, and in less than a second, the anglerfish strikes. Its mouth opens wider than its own body. Rows of needle-like teeth prevent anything from escaping. It does not chase. It does not waste energy. It waits, motionless, patient, designed for a world without mercy. And this is only one of countless creatures that have evolved in total darkness. The anglerfish is not an exception. It is a pattern. The deeper scientists explore, the more alien life begins to look. In the deep ocean, evolution followed different rules. There was no sunlight to power photosynthesis, no forests of coral like the shallow reefs, no predictable food chains. Energy is scarce, food is rare, and survival depends on extreme efficiency. Down there, wasting energy means death. Chasing prey is dangerous. Moving too much is dangerous. Every adaptation is calculated. Every feature has a purpose. And over millions of years in complete darkness, some species evolved in isolation, unchanged, preserved, almost frozen in time, because some of the creatures found in the deep are not new discoveries. They are ancient survivors, living fossils that predate humanity by millions of years. In 1898, fishermen off the coast of Japan pulled something from the water that looked like it belonged to another era. Its skin was pale pink, almost translucent, its body soft, unfamiliar. But what drew attention immediately was its snout, long, flattened, extending forward like a blade. Scientists later named it the goblin shark. But its appearance is not the most disturbing part. It's the way it feeds. In near total darkness, when prey drifts close enough, its entire jaw launches forward from its skull, extending outward in a split second, then snapping back into place. A mechanism powered by elastic ligaments built for sudden precision. This adaptation allows it to capture prey without wasting energy in long chases. Fossil evidence suggests that ancestors of this species have existed for over 100 million years. It survived mass extinctions. It survived climate shifts. It survived when entire ecosystems disappeared. And today, it still moves through the deep ocean, rarely seen, rarely disturbed. A reminder that some parts of our planet have never truly changed. If the creatures we've seen can survive in darkness, then imagine what exists in the deepest place on Earth. In the western Pacific Ocean lies a trench nearly 11,000 meters deep, the Mariana Trench. At its lowest point, known as Challenger Deep, the pressure is over 1,000 times greater than at sea level, enough to crush steel, enough to collapse most submarines instantly. If Mount Everest were placed inside this trench, its peak would still be more than a kilometer underwater. Down there, sunlight has never existed. Temperatures hover just above freezing. And yet, life has been found. Microorganisms, crustaceans, even fish. Creatures surviving under pressure that seems impossible. Fewer people have reached Challenger Deep than have walked on the moon. Think about that. We have sent humans nearly 400,000 kilometers into space, but only a handful have traveled 11 kilometers down. And every expedition that descends reports the same thing. Silence. Absolute darkness. And the feeling that we are not meant to be there. In 1960, two men descended nearly 11,000 meters into Challenger Deep, Jacques Piccard and Don Walsh. Inside a steel sphere barely large enough to stand in. As they descended, sunlight disappeared. Then blue faded to black. The temperature dropped. The pressure increased with every meter. At nearly 10,000 meters, one of the outer windows cracked. The sound echoed inside the vessel. For a moment, they didn't know if the descent would survive it, but it did. Hours later, they reached the bottom. Absolute darkness. No horizon, no sense of scale. Just a flat, silent world under crushing pressure. They stayed there for only 20 minutes, then began the long ascent. For decades, no human returned. In 2012, filmmaker James Cameron made a solo descent to the same depth. He described it as desolate, alien, a place so isolated it felt completely detached from the rest of Earth. And yet, even there, in the deepest place on the planet, life was present. The deep ocean is not empty, it is not silent, and it is not fully understood. We have mapped mountains, we have crossed continents, we have walked on the moon, but beneath our own oceans lies a world we barely comprehend. 11 kilometers below the surface, pressure becomes crushing, light becomes impossible, and time itself feels irrelevant. Creatures move there that evolved without ever seeing the sun. Species that survived mass extinctions. Sounds have echoed across thousands of kilometers. And human beings have touched the bottom only a handful of times. Most of it remains unseen, unmeasured, unwatched. The ocean does not rush to reveal its secrets. It does not need to. It has existed for millions of years without being understood. And long after us, it will remain silent, dark, waiting.